I just talk about my cause and everybody think about them losses, them aliphatic fucking, tosses, and, it's like, damnations and all that shit that sequences niggas makes niggas aggravated, it just makes niggas people, simplified and, emancipated. So it's like, with times and shit like that, it's only right that you fuck up your lines and shit like that. But so, with like, the illustrations and shit like that, you might not make that one time, but so it's like, with realistic flows and shit like that, only real niggas got the toes and shit like that. But yo, it's like piecing it out and shit like that, and whatever you fuck you got, it's from your house and shit like that. But yo, with like, the whole bridge and shit like that, the fascinations, the federal concentrations, just made niggas think about, everybody's love and situation and shit like that. But yo, when it's punk, it's like, niggas don't feel that shit like puppies and shit like that. So, it's like ugly and shit like, preferences and shit like that. That make niggas think about bugging and shit like that, just get, loose and shit like that. But yo, when it's like, truces and shit like, juice and shit like that, to aggravate yourself and shit like, running around and shit like that, niggas keep their mouth shut. But yo, it's like, with like, independence and all this shit that niggas got with records and shit like that, with like, their own fences, it's like, part of establishments and shit like that. But so it's like, only crazy niggas go off on, sounds and, probably for, remorses and shit like, purpose of niggas with, dropping, source again. And, it's like, it's here, but yo, it's like, whenever niggas feeling and shit like that, shit don't get weird. But yo, it's like, incarcerations and shit like that comes from your self-independence and shit like that. But so, staying around and, making your fucking conceptions and shit like that, theories and apprehensions, just like, legitimate and, it's like style and shit like that. But yo, you can run it for a while, but yo, it's like, when niggas get, fulsome up and shit like that, it's about, making the trucks and shit like that. So, it's like, showing the love and shit like that. It's about some whoopies and shit like that. But so, it's like, we're like, it's insane, tragedies, it's like furnaces that makes niggas think about, federal boundaries and shit like that. So, it's like, smooth natures and all that shit that niggas play here, it's just making niggas think about, the same gear. But so, it's like, too weird and popped off for centuries. But yo, who got it off and shit like that? But yo, it's like a blessing to me. But yo, it's like, it's all tossed and shit like this. So niggas call me sources and shit like, informants of fucking, theories and, pedophile, ambitions and, no cost to it. To chase yourself and shit like that and don't run around. But yo, it's like, cool pool styles and shit like that. Made niggas think about, the child, the fucking, running around.